We have people in the Christian community who were committed members. They were very strong. But all of a sudden, we stopped seeing them. They disappeared. Maybe at some point, we might have even wondered why they stopped coming. Not because they relocated, maybe they went to another city or town. They are still around, but they don't just come to our community anymore. Maybe they used to come to the parish. They were our fellow parishioners, but we don't see them anymore. But we see them around. Maybe they used to come to our lay group, to our choir, to our small Christian community. They were very committed, but not anymore. Sometimes we want even to blame it on themselves. That one, he has just become lazy. So we push it on them to say they are the reason why they don't come to church. We really want to put ourselves in the picture. We really want to look at ourselves and say, maybe we have contributed to them not coming to the church anymore. But this is what Jesus wants us to do today. To begin to shift the blame from them to ourselves. Because sometimes we are the reason why some people stopped coming to the community. Maybe because of our attitude towards them. Maybe we've been around in that community for many years. They were just new, they came with fresh blood, fresh ideas, and we could not accommodate them, so they stopped coming. Maybe they committed a public sin, and everybody talks about what they did. And so they stopped coming because our community, our small Christian community, our church, became a place of judgment and not a place where they could come and find God's forgiveness. So today, Jesus wants us to look at ourselves and begin to evaluate our attitude towards other people, especially those that are different from us, those maybe that have done things that the society still talks about, those that could be considered as public sinners, because ourselves we are better sinners since nobody knows what we do. Not so. When we come out like nothing happened, looking all smart, makeup on point, foundation, pedicure and manicure, everything on point, And when people look at us, like, you look very nice, very beautiful, and we enjoy those compliments. Like, we are not just from, you know what I'm talking about, But those who have sinned publicly, those whose sins are written on the billboards, those whose sins have gone to social media, those are bad. And no one should associate themselves with them because they could contaminate them. Those are bad. And when we write those comments on social media, on Facebook, we write very bad things about them. You see, during the time of Jesus, there were people that had leprosy. And those people were not allowed to mingle with others in the community. So they were ostracized. They were pushed outside the community. And they were given these to a bell. Wherever they were, outside the village or the town, when they had people passing from the village, from the town, people that were not contaminated, if you had leprosy and you had somebody coming, you had to ring that bell to alert that person to say, please don't come any nearer because I might contaminate you. So if you had the bell, you had to change your route in case you come into contact with somebody with leprosy and then you are contaminated yourself. Because leprosy was not just an ordinary disease. You had leprosy because there's something that you did. You had leprosy because somebody in your family sinned. You had leprosy because your great-grandfather did something terrible to somebody or to the community. And so leprosy was considered as a way God was punishing those that had sinned in their lives. But what does Jesus do in the gospel? Where everybody else is running away from people with leprosy, Jesus goes to this person that has leprosy. He doesn't just go near to this person, even touches him to free him from, first of all, mental bondage, from believing that he has that leprosy because he sinned. And then he also liberates him from the physical leprosy. We have people in our midst, in our communities, in our society, that might not have physical leprosy, but maybe they have spiritual leprosy. Maybe they have done something bad in their life and we're able to see it. We're able to remember it. We're able to make recourse to it. You did this and this last year. That person did and this the other year. Therefore, they cannot be a leader in the community. That person is this kind of a person. Therefore, they cannot be given this responsibility. Why is that person receiving the Eucharist? I saw him yesterday. I saw her yesterday. Why is he or she receiving the Eucharist today? We are shouting to those whose leprosy is sin. Leper, 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 leper. Don't go any nearer to them because you'll be contaminated. And so, we have made a Christian community a place where people are judged and condemned, and not where people are forgiven. The attitude that Jesus wants us to have is where we create an atmosphere where people can come, regardless of what they have done, regardless of who they are, where they can come and feel the immensity of the love of God. That atmosphere is what we need to create. Maybe our smoke-some community continues to dwindle, probably because there's something that we're not doing right. Jesus wants us to evaluate ourselves. What is our attitude towards those people that are considered as public sinners, whose sin is written on their foreheads? What is our attitude towards them? Do we push them away like they used to do with the lepers? Do we push them away, or we try to accommodate them, to help them to reform? Jesus wants us to take after him. He doesn't just go near to this leper, he even touches him. Touching a leper is a very profound symbol of accommodating somebody that is defeated by what they have done. Most of us might look like we don't do anything bad, anything wrong. Maybe we are just smart sinners. Am I right? I don't know. Maybe we are just smart sinners. We know how to cover up. We know how to hide. We know how to close doors and curtains so that nobody sees us. We know how to go about this and that so that nobody knows. But you know what? We don't hide to God. God sees everything. Even if I dig down here, I bury myself, God will see me down there. God sees everything. We might hide to people, but God sees us. And therefore, it is important for us to come before God and say, whether people know what I do or they don't know what I do, I know that I am just as bad as that person whose sin is written on that billboard. And therefore, Lord, liberate me from this. Free me from this. Touch me, Jesus, so that I can be free. Jesus wants us also to touch those whose leprosy is clearly sin, to accommodate them so that they feel the immensity of the love of God where we are. We need to create that atmosphere. Amen.